Now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk is charged in a for hire plot.
Lil Durk's real name is Durk Bank, and he is from Chicago. This is his mugshot from Florida, where he was arrested last night.
Lil Durk's legal team has launched a decisive move, filing a motion to dismiss the case with prejudice, aiming to close it permanently, while also requesting that all judges and the prosecution team be disqualified to reset the legal battlefield. Alongside this, D is taking a separate approach, formally seeking to remove himself from Durk's case, making it clear that any evidence tied to Durk should not implicate him. This isn't a betrayal, rather, it's a strategic clarification, distinguishing his involvement from Durk's. Together, these filings reveal a careful, multi-layered legal strategy. Durk and his allies are challenging the case head-on, while D is asserting his own boundaries, highlighting how high-profile legal battles often play out as a precise, tactical chess game in the courtroom. Essentially, D is asking for his case to be severed, which could actually benefit Durk, since one of the key threads linking him to the alleged conspiracy hinges on statements made to D, Durk supposedly saying, "I ain't told to hire nobody. Can I hire anybody? Why would I hire someone?" That line of defense underscores his position. Meanwhile, Durk's push to dismiss the case focuses on a different angle. Federal prosecutors claim a snitch provided them with messages from the F group chat, forming part of their evidence. According to new reports, Durk faces allegations that he ordered hits on members of the Orblit group as retaliation for inaction following King Vaughnt's death. Prosecutors intend to present a witness who asserts that Durk gave these instructions, and the evidence files note that Durk feuded with Monaduck over what he perceived as Orblit members' failure to respond, leading to conversations involving WAC 100 and academics about snitches within the case. The filings and testimonies reveal a complex legal narrative, where disputes, digital evidence, and personal rivalries intersect in the courtroom drama surrounding Durk. The case against Durk is anything but straightforward. While some of the evidence appears suspicious, nothing concrete yet directly ties him to a crime. There's no message in the files explicitly proving his involvement. One key witness is cooperating with the authorities, though his story has been inconsistent, initially denying any bounty and later claiming one existed. Prosecutors have scrambled to shore up their case, introducing new pages of evidence, but these filings could ironically work in Durk's favor by delaying the trial and giving his team additional time to push for bond. Meanwhile, the feds are attempting to connect him to a separate 2021 incident involving Quando Rondo's crew, citing lyrics from his music as potential evidence, though Durk has publicly acknowledged that the timing of his songs has been misinterpreted. Despite the legal pressure, Durk's lawyers are aggressively pursuing another bond, making a compelling offer that, with his father's support, could finally secure his release. The unfolding drama highlights a complex intersection of music, testimony, and legal maneuvering, where every detail, from fluctuating witness statements to the timing of song releases, can shift the balance in a high-stakes federal case.
The courtroom for the bond hearing for my son, for the release for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor, he wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice. So he listened to all the evidence, and and he's gonna give a ruling in the next few days about what his position is for the bond. But we were very pleased at how it turned out. So continue, family, friends, and fans, continue to keep us in your prayers, and we thank you. And inshallah, God willing, this be victorious for that we have a good ruling in our favor.
Prosecutors recently dropped the lyric-based evidence against Durk, which had drawn scrutiny for citing lines from his songs as if they were confessions, including mentions of someone having an atty and tracking locations. Meanwhile, authorities are searching for 3 individuals tied to a Savannah rapper and a member of his entourage after an incident in Los Angeles, captured on camera, showing a passenger in a car panicking at the scene. Durk's lawyer, growing increasingly frustrated with the prosecution, has openly criticized the charges, calling them absurd. The legal twists began with an initial indictment that didn't name Durk, listing others instead and leaving him as an unindicted person. Just 3 weeks later, the first superseding indictment changed that, formally naming him while leaving the rest of the case virtually identical. The only substantive addition in this new filing was the identification of Durk himself, highlighting how the case has evolved in a way his defense views as technically procedural rather than evidentiary. The legal saga took another twist when a new fact emerged in the case. Prosecutors alleged that Durk had posted a video celebrating and monetising certain actions, though this surfaced before a judge could weigh in. Around the same time, Vonnie's cooperation with authorities became public, as his prison records showed he was no longer in custody, and he inadvertently leaked details of his plea deal through a private text to a friend, which then spread. In the message, Vonnie explained his calculations, pleading to a base of 32 4M for higher charges, accounting for early plea reductions and a clean record, would leave him with 27 points, translating to roughly 5 to 7 years, far preferable to risking trial and a potential life sentence. Yet this cooperation drew backlash. Vonnie's father publicly called him out, claiming Vonnie had played a part in King Vaughn's death and that Durk was aware of it. In conversations highlighted in filings, Durk allegedly asked Vonnie if it was open, to which Vonnie replied, "Off the hinges," sparking further questions about the timing of payments to Little Tim and the broader motives at play. Sources indicate that financial records and potential testimony from bankers could provide additional context, showing the flow of money and establishing motive, underscoring the complex web of loyalty, betrayal, and strategy that surrounds this high-profile case. The question of motive is central to this saga, and messages from a lawyer suggest that tensions between Durk and Vonnie were fueled by legal entanglements. The two were set to face trial together, but after King Vaughn's death, the case quietly ended in a private settlement, raising speculation that Durk might have seen Vaughn's passing as a way to sidestep potential prison time. Financial and professional dynamics also appear to have played a role. Vonnie reportedly had no formal contractual ties to Durk, wasn't under a 360 deal, and had no binding authority over any sceners. Frustrations over being passed up in the business may have added personal stakes, as nobody likes having their position undermined. Public statements added further complexity, including claims on Breakfast Club where Vonnie suggested Durk should have had legal counsel despite appearing in court with expensive jewelry, though in reality, he relied on a public defender. All these layers, legal maneuvering, financial positioning, and public perception, paint a picture of a tangled web of relationships and potential motives that continue to shape the unfolding narrative. A viral tweet recently drew attention to the timing of Durk's Instagram live sessions, noting that he seemed to go live almost immediately following the deaths of notable figures like King Vaughn, Lil Pab, and FBG Duck. This fueled speculation among fans that he might have been using social media as an impromptu alibi, showing he was online and ostensibly not involved in the tragedies. The situation became even more complex with Vonnie's father continuing to speak out, claiming his son played a role in orchestrating the deaths of King Vaughn and Lil Pab. Discussions around leaked text messages suggested that some details were misinterpreted, with observers debating whether Vonnie was actively snitching or simply discussing movements and locations. Sources close to the situation indicated that communications from jail were heavily monitored, and advice sent via tablets often went unanswered, emphasizing how the legal and personal dynamics intertwined with digital evidence, public perception, and narrative control in this high-profile case. In the midst of the ongoing saga, a new potential witness has emerged, Dee's younger brother, Ted, whose sudden appearance in the case files sent ripples through the rap community. Ted was recently arrested at a convenience store for carrying a firearm with an extended clip, initially considered unrelated, but his close ties to Dee, Durk's key associate, meant he could possess sensitive insider knowledge. When taken to the police station, Ted immediately began offering information on people involved in criminal activity, seemingly unfazed by the implications of snitching. Officers had to calm him down as he spilled details from the back of the cop car, showing a surprising mix of bravado and candidness. Amid all the upheaval, the legal battle around Durk continues to evolve. Despite these new developments, his lawyer's recent filings may still open the door for his release, demonstrating how courtroom strategy, family ties, and unexpected witnesses are all shaping the high-stakes drama surrounding him. Durk has filed a new motion to dismiss the case, arguing that the second indictment is too vague to proceed. And if the court denies that request, he's seeking a bill of particulars demanding clarity on the coded language, the specifics of any alleged bounty, and the dates and circumstances involved. His lawyers want the prosecution to spell out exactly when and what reward he supposedly offered regarding Quando, a request that would normally be standard but has been met with resistance. Meanwhile, Durk faced additional hurdles in jail. Reports claim he was placed in solitary after an officer allegedly found a cell phone in his cell, a charge his team disputes as false and punitive. On top of that, he was reportedly involved in an altercation earlier the same day, prompting Lil Baby to tweet a public show of support. "I don't care about nothing else other than Durk right now. Free the bro." Fans quickly connected this unrest to recent losses in Durk's circle, including the deaths of Bezu and Glee, raising questions about potential motives for revenge. Adding to the tense atmosphere, Quando and Lil Tim gave interviews that coincided with the day Durk was targeted, appearing suspiciously timed. Lil Tim emphasized he was acting to protect family and that he isn't one to chase clout, while Wando echoed similar sentiments, noting that the situation could have been handled differently to avoid unnecessary conflict and harm, highlighting the mix of personal loyalty, tragedy, and legal drama entangled in the ongoing case. The situation surrounding Durk's legal battles continues to evolve, with some arguing that the conflicts could have been resolved creatively, through music releases or financial settlements, rather than escalating to criminal charges, especially since two of his biggest rivals gave interviews on the same day, which fans saw as suspicious timing. Durk's most recent bond attempt was denied after he was placed in solitary confinement, but his legal team remains optimistic, citing potential First Amendment protections. They argue that artistic expression in rap, like lyrics in any genre, should not be used as evidence for prosecution, emphasizing that free speech remains a constitutional right even if hip-hop depicts controversial or violent narratives. Additionally, federal authorities reportedly denied bond because of concerns that Durk might use his wealth to influence witnesses or fund bounties, effectively forcing him to give up his assets to qualify. Now facing serious federal charges that carry the possibility of life imprisonment, Durk's legal options are limited, though his lawyers continue to explore every avenue, including constitutional defenses and challenges to the prosecution's evidence, highlighting the high stakes and complex intersections of artistry, freedom of expression, and criminal law in this case. Under federal law, serious charges carry the presumption that bond should be denied, meaning Durk's lawyers had to make a compelling case for his release. Ultimately, the district judge denied bond for several reasons. While a few $1 million were offered, much of it came from the label rather than Durk himself, and he still possesses far greater assets and resources. Authorities expressed concern that, if released, he could use his wealth to flee or potentially orchestrate further violent acts, echoing the crimes he's currently charged with. Meanwhile, questions linger about Jam, who was revealed as a cooperating witness on DJ Vlad, and whose disclosure has had ripple effects in the community. Several members of the group are now gone, but Jam's story remains notable. After serving 12 years and claiming he kept it real, he was reportedly rewarded with cars and $50,000, highlighting the complex dynamics of loyalty, betrayal, and cooperation in criminal cases. Other associates, like M, faced gun charges but eventually cooperated as well, illustrating how federal investigations rely heavily on insider testimony and the intricate web of connections that define these high-profile cases.